Hello, Facebook friends and family. Andrew Costa here on my front patio, joined by the sound of a cicada and a little bit of street noise. But I want to just give an update about what's going on in my life. So, up until this point, for those of you who've been following, you probably know that on June 1st, that was my last day at Castine Church. And again, I just need to celebrate that process went so smooth. 12 months ago, I told the senior leadership that I was ready to move on. I was going to give them a window, till June 1st, to prepare what they needed to prepare. And I think everybody did their due diligence, and there was a plan for after I left. Continue to pray for them as they are still seeking that third pastor and working with a firm to get that done. So that was about 2 months ago that I was done at Castine. And you're probably thinking, what have you been up to, Andrew? Well, like I said, I was going to take a little time off, and I have. Just cherished my family this summer, decompress a little bit after 7 years of youth ministry there at Castine. Also had been working towards my ordination, and I have really good news. I passed the exam that I had to become a deacon. So remember, in the Reformed Episcopal Church where I'm going, you make deacons, you ordain priests, you consecrate bishops. And so I've done what I need to do to be made a deacon, and will be ordained late September, maybe September 25th is what we're hoping. And so there'll be more about that, as anybody who would like to come is absolutely invited. And so that's really good news. That's exciting for me. So those who've been praying, I appreciate you so much. Okay, so what is next? Well, there was this discernment process about, do I go and serve a church in Dayton for a season before continuing thinking about church planting, or how to think about this next season in my life, and where to serve. Because church planting had always been kind of the main idea, but I'd been invited to consider some other things. Well, it looks like church planting is it, but maybe not on my schedule. So here's what that means. I'm going to hopefully be able to spend a little time in mentorship with a local priest here in Dayton, and however long we think it's appropriate for me to have some mentorship with this priest. In the meantime, to be seeing if there would be folks who would want to gather here in Darke County to start an Anglican mission. So church planting is still in the plans. It's still a very present reality. But while I'm church planting, also on purpose, being mentored in the ways of the ministry of an Episcopal priest. It's, there are a lot of similarities with the season I spent as, a Protestant pastor, but then there are some things that are different that need attention. And so that is coming up. So how do I bullet point this? If you are praying for me, pray that if there is a group here in Darke County that would like to help start this church plant, that God would start to raise them up, that God would create some conversations and some divine appointments in that area, to see if this is his will, to see if there's an ecclesia, a gathering here in Darke County. That would be something that's really important to ask. Another really important thing to ask, because I kind of buried the lead a little bit, there's an organization that has offered us to use a building, to take over a building and to use that building to plant a church here in Darke County. And that's really exciting. That's an answer to prayer. It was a building I had some vision for that I'd been praying about. And so this could really be an answered prayer. But it's a little bit soon in the process. I mean, it really pushes the timeline forward. And so that is really what I'm asking for prayer on is, what should the timeline look like? Should we say yes to this building? What needs are there in its upkeep as far as the cost to maintenance it? While I'm working to be mentored towards this next thing, is a building going to be a help or a hindrance? So that's just such an important question that we're wrestling through. And if you could storm the gates of heaven with me through your prayers on that, I would so appreciate it. For those of you who spend some time watching this, for those of you who've been praying for me, let me just finish by saying thank you. I so appreciate you. It means a lot to know that there are folks who are joining me in this, who are curious, who care about Heather and I enough. And I'll continue to do this because I'll continue to need God to show up in big ways. And when we pray, it just seems like God's in motion around us, or at least you're noticing the things that He is doing. Anyway, thank you for continuing to join me in that. Thank you for watching this, for spreading the word. Let me, just last time, that bullet point is a prayer of thanksgiving that I passed my deacon's exam and get to move forward in that. Prayer of thanksgiving that there's this opportunity to be mentored. So thankful for that. Prayer for God to raise up a core of people here within Darke County who would want to help start this. If that is God's will, we need to know, who are the people? Who is God's will, not just what is God's will. And then finally, what to do about this building. Is it a yes? Is it a no? How to be obedient in that. And so those are my prayers. That's what's going on. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. So long.